I'm Charbria Shine, and welcome back to Max Out Girl. Alright, so today I am continuing the Spring Fling Series. Whoop, whoop. Alright, so we encourage singles when we talked about, wanting to have someone in your life where it's bae. Then we talked about keeping the spark alive in a marriage relationship. Today I want to talk back to the singles. Alright, so some of the stuff today I'm going to talk about is from my book, The Single Woman's Dating Guide. So I want to talk to that single who, again, you're like meeting people and you're like, what do I do? How do I date? How do I go about this process, especially as a Christian, right? And so I just want to give you a few of my tips from my single book to help some ladies through this dating process, okay? So here's the first tip. Keep God first. So it is so important to keep God first in your relationship. Sometimes I feel like it's so easy. It's such a simple concept, but so easy to forget that. Sometimes when you're in the dating process, because you're like, oh, he cute, he got a good job, he makes good money, I like him, he likes me, we're vibing. Okay, those things are good, right? They're great, they're important. However, it's so important to pray. Ask God, because he can so show you a lot of things in that process. Like for me, there was guys that tried to come into my life. I prayed about it. Holy Spirit showed me right in front, like, no, that ain't it. And that may not happen for everybody. Some situations I have to go through and experience and get to know them to say, no, that's not the right one. However, it is so important because God can protect you from so many things if we just slow down, take our emotions out of it, and listen to the guidance of the Holy Spirit. So keep God first in the process. Even if you're dating someone, getting to know them, check up on, asking God every day, like, okay, God, what you think about this? What you think about that? Like, have that communication with him because he will speak to you. All right, next tip, be intentional. Yes, be intentional. Know what you want out of this relationship. All right. And for me, I wouldn't date nobody unless it was to progress to be something like marriage. Because for me, just being here and there in these random relationships, to me, that's a recipe for disaster, especially as a Christian woman who was not having sex until she's getting married. What's my point in being in all these long-term relationships? That's just going to be more temptation for me if I don't have a vision and they don't have a vision for marriage being that next step. So be intentional. Know what you want, right? If you just want to have a friendship, be real, be honest, be intentional. But you need to know where they're at too. And that goes to my next step or next tip is get clarity. Okay, I know so many people that get misled because you just didn't get clarity. And a lot of people are like, man, I spent all this time, wasting my time with this guy. And he didn't even, want to go to the next level. And I asked them something very simple. Well, did you talk to them about it? Did you ask them if they wanted to be in a committed relationship? Did you ask them if marriage was even something they wanted in their future? Like some heartache we can avoid by just asking the right questions. And yeah, I know some people play games, right? They might steer you along and play games. We understand that. But sometimes it's us who just didn't get clarity. Because a lot of definitions are different. Some people will say dating or talking or courting. They have different definitions for it. So you want to see what they think about it. All right, next tip. Position yourself to be pursued. Girl, if you're with all these randoms, a good man might look at you like, okay, she's entertaining X, Y, Z. She ain't the one. So if you're really wanting to be pursued or found by that mighty man of God, that guy that you want to marry or you want to commit a relationship from, don't be entertaining these randoms. Because sometimes that could throw them off like, okay, she's not serious. She playing games. When really, just because you're lonely, you're entertaining all these random guys because you just want a free meal or you want somebody to hang with on a Friday night, knowing they ain't the right one, knowing it's not the one that God sent for you. So just be patient, and be strong and eliminate the people that is not the right one. All right. So position yourself to be found, meaning create a life you don't feel like you need rescuing from. Build yourself up in God. Build yourself up as who you are and whose you are as a woman of God. Like focus on personal development, first and foremost for yourself. All right. Not just to get a man, but for yourself. All right. So next one, we always hear, especially in the church, make sure you're equally yoked. And absolutely, if you're a believer, you're a Christian, you should be dating a believer or Christian. A lot of times we're like, oh, I can get him saved. Yeah, let somebody else get him saved. If you're trying to date him, you need to make sure he is already a believer because that's being unequally yoked. And so we know that. Most of us know that from a spiritual standpoint. But even in a natural standpoint, have some common interests. Like, you don't have to like everything the same because sometimes opposites attract, but that's usually in terms of personality style. A lot of healthy couples have at least one thing, a few things that they enjoy doing together, right? Like when me and my husband got married, I was not watching sports, like zero at all. But it's so funny because I was a cheerleader growing up and on the dance team during football season. So I knew about it. I liked it at that point. But as an adult, I guess I just didn't keep up with it. So he was like, man, you know, he always wanted a woman who liked sports. And it's so funny because we had so many other things in common. That wasn't a deal breaker for him, but that was a desire. And now we have fun, you know, we watch sports together. But even if that didn't change, we still have so many other things we have fun doing together. You don't want to be with somebody where it's like you never have fun with them. Y'all don't like anything the same, and it's just such a burden. Come on. Now, if this is somebody you gonna be trying to spend the rest of your life with, you need to have some common interests. That's important. Have fun with each other. All right. And let's see. I'm not gonna give all the tips from my book, but I'm gonna just give you a few more. Let's see what we have. Don't try to change someone. Yo, if he ain't a baby, you can't change him. I always say that. Like, yes, we're always going to try to motivate our partners to become better and vice versa. But if you meet someone, ask yourself this. If he never changes, can I still live with it? Can I still live with him? Can this be the person I spend the rest of my life with? A lot of times we have that Mr. Fix-It type thing, Build-A-Man type of, concept. And yeah, we can help, help develop them as they help develop us. But why put yourself through that? Because if they never change, now you don't wasted your time. But we always think we could change somebody. And you don't want somebody coming in your life trying to change everything about you. So if they're not where you want them to be, meaning there's some major deal breakers, but you feel like you can change them because they have potential. The problem with potential is everyone has it, but there's no guarantee that they're going to reach it. They have to be determined to do that. You can encourage them, but if you see no change, no movement, you got to take it for face value. Because if now you're trying to marry somebody and you see all these red flags, but you're like, that's okay, I can change them just because you want a man. Okay, and then later it blows up in your face. The red flags were there, but because of impatience, because you were lonely, your clock was ticking, you just jumped into something. And God, we need to wait for God's best. He has something grand for us. He has a great match for us. Not perfect, but a great match for the purpose that he has for our lives. And yeah, it's hard to wait sometimes. I had to wait, but it's so worth it. I'm on the other end and it is so worth it. So again, those are just a few tips. Didn't go through everything, but that's from my book, The Single Woman's Dating Guide. I mean, it's from like A to Z, not just tips on dating, but first date do's and don'ts. I talk about myself in there. I talk about, how to pretty much date God's way and just giving you some tips and things that helped me in my courtship and through my dating life. So again, if you desire marriage, trust God. He's got it for you. It's a godly desire, but don't settle for less than God's best, sis, out of loneliness or because you're getting older or because you're getting tired. I've been there, done that. I didn't meet my husband till my mid-30s, and people were telling me I was crazy because I just completely stopped dating. Like there was a while where I was like, I ain't gonna be dating randoms. Let me fix my English. I'm not going to be dating randoms because I'm lonely or I'm getting older. I'm going to wait. I'm going to patiently wait for the one that God has for me. And the tips in my book really helped me during that courtship dating process with my husband because I didn't know how to do it as a Christian. I was always falling short, messing up, or picking the randoms or falling into sexual situations. I just didn't know how to do it. And the Holy Spirit taught me. And these are just some of the tips that I have in my book to help you go through that process. And again, you don't have to date randoms. God can have you in a very hidden season of your life. And then when he sends that person, but sometimes you don't know the person until you're going through that dating process. And these tips are to help you discover, is this the one for me that God has sent for me? So again, I just hope that the Spring Fling Series is helping you during the spring season. Don't be discouraged if you desire marriage because God has that for you, but do not settle for less than God's best. And in the meantime, while you're waiting, don't live like a damsel in distress because you're not. So create a life you feel like you don't need rescuing from. So again, you can get my book, Single and Satisfied, The Single Woman's Guide to Fulfillment, The Single Woman's Dating Guide. You can get The Single Woman's Guide to Valentine's Day, The Single Woman's Guide to the Holidays, my Dating with Intention course. I have so much for singles. Check it out at charbriashine.com. And events, we have our May 19th Self-Love Empowerment. If you are in the Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland area, you don't want to miss this. Yo, it is only $25, and not only do you get food, cute picture booth, all of that, but this is pretty much like a panel, PJ and pamper type of party. so much fun. Like expert panelists that will be talking about self-care, self-love, mental health. They're going to be talking about so many things, healthy relationships. And then we are going to have that pamper party, facials, makeup artists. You're going to get your hands massaged, a reflexologist. You're going to get a back massage. This is going to be a time to be at. So May 19th, self-love empowerment. Don't miss it. Go to events at charbriashine.com. And as always, you know you can follow me at MaxOutGirl at Charbria Shine. And again, I hope I said something that encouraged, inspired, and elevated your thinking. And always remember to max out, girl. I'm Charbria Shine. Talk to you next time. Bye, guys.